And get it started.
Okay.
Okay. So we are live. Welcome everybody to MetaFest. It's been an amazing time. We started off on the 9th. Here we are on the 23rd. What a crazy 2 weeks. We learned all about DAO tooling. We've seen stuff about the metaverse. We learned a lot about refi. We learned a lot about how to work with each other and about the diversity in the space. We also learned a lot about caring and giving back to our local economy and local communities. And today we're going to take it a little bit easy. We're going to talk a little bit more about regenerating ourselves, how to stay mentally fit in DAOs and Web3. We've got Lewis coming up. Lewis, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Welcome. So yeah, Lewis is
Awesome.
going to be kicking off the day and getting us started. Um, can you please introduce yourself and let people know a little bit more about you and what you're doing, and then feel free to hop into your presentation.
Awesome. I mean, thanks a lot for having me. Super happy to be here for the last day of MetaFest. I've been a big fan of metagame for a long time, and MetaFest has been a really cool event. And yeah, so I'm Louis, and I've been around in the space for some time now. Started working initially with Aragon back in 2019. So DAO framework that is still around. Um, and eventually and I contributed to a bunch of other projects, um, uh, and DAOs, mostly the social DAO and DeFi DAOs, the social DAO category, like Seed Club, Forefront, Front with Benefits, um, and been looking closely at all these growing DAOs, and I've been writing about them, tweeting about them, and really being passionate about how this organization work from an org design standpoint. And yeah, I've been focusing on this and doing community coordination, community management work for a bunch of different projects. Um, and through my journey in DAOs, I also have experienced challenges that I think go to that go with the lifestyle or the lifestyle of a DAO contributor. Mostly like mental health challenges that are both like specific to me, and also just like things that are exacerbated by just like the way we work, and also like the state of DAOs today, the state of the tooling, the state of the processes, which is like very early and not really a smooth ride for anyone at this point, especially for those who kind of like operate the DAOs and kind of run them and coordinate these communities or this type of events like MetaFest. And so yeah, basically this led me on to create 2 plus, to solve this pain for myself and for others. And 2 plus is a mental fitness club for DAO contributors, and basically we're starting in July with a cohort of like 15 to 20 contributors from really cool projects. And I was providing training on, with this thing called mental fitness. I'm happy to introduce that, um, um, which is basically, the fact of being intentional, and having a very proactive approach with your mental health, and thinking about mental, your kind of like brain health as something you can actively shape in order to like achieve goals. And also just like learning these skills and learning to kind of like manage your body and brain better, so that you can both like work more efficiently, enjoy yourself, and not burn out. And so yeah, we're starting in July, so that'll be fun. There we have a blog on 2plus_XYZ on Twitter. There's also a blog with a couple articles if you guys want to dive in. Yeah, I guess I can try to share my screen. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work. Um, all right, maybe it's going to work. All right, it's kind of like just a few slides. So I hope you guys can see my screen. Just let me know if that's not the case. Um, so okay, you should be able to see it. So yeah,
It's
so not a surprise for anyone here. DAOs are on the rise. Lots of people, have been working on DAOs and really enjoying it for obvious reasons. It's exciting. You learn tons of things. There's initially financial upside. There's also bear markets. That's what lots of people are discovering the hard way. But there's all the fun. There's like the very interesting people. There's the opportunity to work on things you're passionate about. And so, yeah, I mean, DAOs are so a great fit for a whole new generation of people, I guess. Also, from millennials to all the younger people who have been like used to, just like that digital way of working and just like yeah digital way of interacting and socializing as well. um but like yeah, so we've seen that. I think and if you guys have been just like working with three stuff, working in DAOs, I guess is has this similar trait, but has some is a lot about working asynchronously, is a lot about being self-directed. You have to kind of like make your way to your next task autonomously. Like you don't really have this kind of like top-down supervision that you would have. So for some people, it's kind of like um, it demands for a shift in mindset, and for everyone, I guess it demands to learn like new skills, these self-direction skills. Working in DAO, especially for operators and community managers and coordinators and those who like design and operate these DAOs, is really draining. It's a chaotic experience. It's very intense, especially in the past 24 month or year and a half, where we're in the bull market and everyone was like coming into this space. Um, and yeah, and so just like working in the, I mean, both DAOs are like leaning towards this model where they're like fluid and they're um, fairly flat, and you need this kind of like self-managing organization techniques to operate them properly. And yeah, alongside a new mindset, it requires still skills for running projects in a different way, a slightly different way, a very agile way, running um, yeah, random meetings or decision making might be different from a traditional organization. So basically, like, yeah, we talk a lot about technology, but a lot of the challenges that go with that today are human challenges. Um, and there's a lot to unlock, especially now as we can't really wait for. I mean, there's a bunch of interesting tooling on the way, and we can imagine that in when next 10 to 15 years, working DAOs would be like pretty streamlined, looking more like kind of like Web 2 UX, easy, seamlessness type of thing than the Discord experience, clunky Discord experience that we have today. Um, but for like the generation of people that are going through working in building these DAOs now, we need to, we are basically um, in need of like training and contributor education. And so basically we're um, with 2 plus, I just say a word and just like I can dive into mental fitness itself. But we think that it's important for to kind of like early in the um, growth of the DAO ecosystem. It's really important um, to shape a culture around what we call mental fitness. We think that with any culture or subculture or new tech cycle, you have a bunch of like norms and cultures that develop. I think Web2 had its um, a lifestyle or going with it, or I mean startups, or more and more time like startups started offering like gym memberships to their employees. And I feel like given the work that DAO contributors do, which is a lot. I mean, today is people spend a lot of time in front of screen, and this is a very challenging thing for the brain. It demands also like abilities and knowledge to be able to put boundaries, um, to design your environment, to use tools intentionally, also to kind of like know yourself better, manage yourself better at very like biological level. Um, yeah, that should be part of like the norms of like being a DAO contributor, to go to these trainings and kind of like learn more about how you function best, like, and which skills you should develop, and all these things that would make the overall experience of a DAO participant smoother. Um, and yeah, we're starting with what we call the gymnasium, the DAO gymnasium, and as a like it's a mental fitness club for DAO contributors, and so basically we'll kind of like teach um, mental fitness to or train our contributors with like basis with mental fitness. So those are like techniques that have been existing for a very long time. Um, things like meditation, things like breath work, things like NSDR or yoga nidra, or flow state, or and all these techniques, and on top of that, like how you can organize better, how you can handle tensions better or conflict better. And so basically all these things already exist, but we trying to kind of like repackage this in a way that makes sense to a DAO contributor. Um, and yeah, so basically, um, mental fitness basically is the shift from um, perspective where so far, like, you already had like this kind of like mental health concept, where which is really important, but has a lot of stigmas, and you don't have on the other hand, like, mental fitness is a much more like kind of like, yeah, I'd say like lightweight, positive version of like brain and mental health. And it's an analogy could be like, that the only way to take care of your mental health today is to go to the hospital, and don't really have gyms to do that. And we're definitely seeing a trend in society um, where there's these like new ways of being aware of your mental states, and brain health is emerging. And what we think is that DAO contributors today are pioneers of a new lifestyle, the same way, interestingly, the same way Americans after the war, World War II, pioneered a new lifestyle on their own, in their turn. Like, basically, people went to the suburbs, and they had like new technologies, and they had a very sedentary lifestyle, so they started like and processed food, so they started getting fat, having like heart problems, heart disease, and all these things. And this caused like the rise eventually of physical fitness as a preventative way to take care of like your overall health. And here, like, DAO contributors are moving to these like much more digital spaces, which, and we don't really know what externalities these digital spaces have on our brains and bodies. Actually, we kind of have a feedback loop already of all the, yeah, kind of like the ourselves, all the burnouts, and also just like the use of digital tools, like causing um, pretty bad externalities with the younger generations, Gen Z, and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, that's the concept around mental fitness. I would have loved to take some questions, but I think what we I think what's interesting with like the way DAO contributors work today, is that it's often, for a lot of people, it's about being home. It's about working async. It's about working across time zones. So and the industry keeps running 24/7. So that's a very open design space for how you define how you're going to work and how you're going to structure your day, how you're going to approach that. And most often, what people do is like they enter the space, they work for 2, 3 to 6 months, and eventually they're really excited because this space is really exciting, really stimulating. Eventually, they burn out, and either they bounce and they go to something else, or they have to recover in some way. Um, or they have to recover from burnout and kind of like rethink how they'll approach like the next yeah their next like uh, commitments basically. And at this point, like that's really where like mental fitness can come into play, and we can start designing um and be more intentional about like how we approach our work, which are questions that we didn't really ask ourselves when we were like checking in at the beginning of the day, checking out at 5 p.m. or at 6 p.m., 8 p.m., whatever it is. But when you had an office life and a social life around you and everything was structured, these are norms you didn't really have to think about, and your boss would also add boundaries and stuff. And on top of that, yeah, Web3 kind of like has this really this fairly libertarian aspect of people being in charge of themselves, or everyone's an entrepreneur. So yeah, I think that's where like mental fitness can really has a role to play in how people approach the space. Um, yeah, I think that's good on my end. I don't know if
Yeah, I have
there's a desire
a
to
question.
explore anything.
Yeah. So obviously, mental fitness comes with kind of a lot of training and kind of working and kind of self exploration. One of the things that I do is like to try and read and trying to stay connected to relevant sources, and basically always be learning and have like kind of a childish experience towards things. It's like I'm never like trying to assume a perspective for things and like have fun with them and experience them for the first time is like how I like to try and do it. Are there any other like ways that people can kind of work on their mental fitness and are what I'm doing what you'd recommend, or are there other like key things that people could do to improve their
Yeah,
mental fitness?
totally. No, that's a great question. Um, so there are many ways. There are fundamentals like that are the same as fundamentals for any um, yeah, any for mental health in general. So good sleep, seeing people, making sure you exercise, you see the sunlight, you eat well. I mean, these things are honestly like these things might seem like also they're kind of like a given, but society wants you to have like 3 meals a day. So that, there's a bunch of things also that we didn't really pay attention to because going to work we had all these things embedded into like, our routine. But like sleep can really take a hit when you're in Web3 because like until late in the night you receive all these notifications. You have like you're really stimulated. There's so many things happening. You're anxious about missing out on things and stuff. Eventually you can't really stop thinking, and you don't sleep, and the next day you don't feel productive, so you fall into like this loop of eventually performance anxiety sets in. And um, so basically like all these fundamentals are to be protected, um, because they're really fundamental here as well. But I guess that what's interesting with this is not new, but I feel like what's interesting, yeah, with mental fitness and the way we can approach it here, is that yeah, there are a bunch of so these are awesome things to do, and I mean I think what you do is also pretty relevant here, and mental fitness can be custom to anyone. I probably wouldn't have the same practice as someone else. So let's on my end, what I do is that um, I wake up, do a Wim Hof breath work. I kind of like started doing breath work. I'm a really anxious person. Um, I mean, I was, and yeah, started breath work 6 months ago, and now using an app that's called Othership.us. is really good on top of the Wim Hof breath work I do in the morning. So that's 10 minutes of like intense breathing, holding your breath. So it's really training like I mean it's oxygenating your brain because oftentimes what happens when in the contemporary lifestyle is like you wake up, you look at your phone, or you go to your computer, or you don't really go outside, you don't really make your body move. So breath work is really great to kind of like oxygenate your body and stuff, and also like the Wim Hof method helps kind of build this mental toughness because eventually you really have this urge to breathe and you have to kind of like deal with it and stuff. So it kind of like really builds like your resilience and you're able to deal with like strong emotions. And then once I have done that, I go and meditate for 30 minutes, just focusing on my breath, paying attention to anything that comes. And I have this kind of like ADHD profile, and this was really awful with Web3, as I was always kind of like going to from one tab to another, from one, just browsing on Twitter, using Discord a lot, interacting with tons of people. Eventually, this really like harm my part of the brain that's called the prefrontal cortex, and stress is something that thins your prefrontal cortex, and the PFC, prefrontal cortex, is in charge of like regulating emotions, processing reasoning, helping you basically be stable, have stable moods, think clearly, all those different things. I mean, this is kind of like one of the most like recent part of our brains, and just like using meditation to compensate for the fact that we're always kind of like switching context, switching tasks and stuff, like is really powerful. um, and yeah, journaling as well is awesome. And so basically you can just, I mean, it's just about reflecting, and depending on where you're at in your journey, depending on where you're going, and what you're looking to achieve, you can reflect on very different questions, and this can really be powerful. So it's kind of like a set of techniques that are both like body level techniques, brain level techniques, that I think, yeah, that have been around forever, but I think that are need to be articulated clearly to population in Web3 as well, um, on why it makes sense, especially for these kinds of pains. um, and and yeah, I mean, the number of techniques are infinite. I think there are some basics. Yeah, for them, I mean, meditation is definitely like the equivalent of running for physical athletes. I'd say is meditation for mental athletes. So it's kind of like this basic, probably everyone will probably do it. Some will do it in different ways. Some will do only this, and depending on like your yeah, neurotype, you're going to need to kind of like build muscles in different parts of your brains, or kind of like investigate different things. So yeah, that's kind of like a very quick overview, but I think it's a fun topic. So I hope you learned at least one or two things.
Thank you so much, Louis. Yeah, one of the things that I learned when I was talking with Durgadas about spiral dynamics was about kind of like the micro schedule of our week, and like how that like plays out to like the macro schedule that we follow, and how there's like kind of ebbs and flows of our energy. And usually we've got like days that we hit things hard. We got days where we usually have lots of meetings, and like our energy, and as you say, like journaling and being able to track that helps us recognize our patterns. And I think yeah,
Totally.
this sleep one is crazy too. You know, the way that I really keep fit is by having a dual sleeping schedule, where I'll sleep a little bit in the day and at night, rather than trying to get all my sleep at night. So having that like dual phasic system makes sure that I'm not burned out or exhausted by the end of the day. But yeah, really getting
Yeah,
into
totally.
your
Yeah, what is the name of the community or platform you mentioned earlier about like teaching you about like yeah, micro scheduling and
So Durgadas had a workshop previously about spiral dynamics. So it
okay,
was yeah.
nice,
I'm not
awesome.
sure if he's
Yeah,
still
that's
doing
great,
that.
that's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you
Let's
so
do
much
it.
for coming. Could you please remind people about where they can follow up with the conversation, your information, and website?
Yeah, totally. If you like just really passionate and nerding about well-being and performance in this space, and wanted to like also just help shape the narrative around that we can push to a larger audience in that space, you can find us at 2plus_xyz on Twitter, 2plus.xyz on the website. And I'm Albiverse on Twitter, ALBIVERSE. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Excited to keep working on this. We're running our first course in July, so don't hesitate to just DM us if you're interested.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Peace, guys. Thank you very much.
So, next up, we have Scott Tamfinney. Are you there, Scott?
Yeah. Hey, Penguin, can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this MetaFest2 in the metaverse up. And after speaking with Emma at Digital X, I thought it would be neat to like make like a red carpet catwalk runway to show some of the digital fashions. So I'm going to premiere that today, maybe at the end. So what I did is I took our area that we have a bunch of metagame assets, and I made this looping catwalk, um, which will be kind of fun. Okay, so over here this is a gated parcel in voxels. And I just wanted to show you guys what this looks like. If you have that 1155 token, you'll be able to see the assets inside here. And over time, maybe we'll gamify this parcel also. I just wanted to show you guys this before I go do the treasure hunt tour. So the way I looked at this was maybe more like a clubhouse opposed to the player's journey that I showed you guys yesterday. Just an anonymous character right now. I've got no outfit. It doesn't know who I am, but it looks like right in front of me is somebody. We got Utter Melon Pop, who looks like he's outfitted like in a Popeye costume, and then we've got. It looks like there's some event happening over here. So this is typical of voxels. If you go into the world, you can just start exploring, and these are other characters that are playing their version of the game. But I've got a specific purpose over in some parcels that we've outfitted for metagame MetaFest. Okay, so what I've done is I've turned to the right. I'll show you the map when I blow it out. So we're in the middle of what's called Origin City. And if I pan out a little bit, you'll see that there's a lot of parcels in voxels now, and they started creating additional islands. And that way, as selling these parcels as NFTs, they can support the development of voxels as this Web3 game that is built by users like me that have some fixed parcels that I own, and then I have some that I just collaborate on that people have given me the rights to their NFT, not to own the NFT, but to participate in their parcels and put content in there. So the way that I'm going to do this demo today is I am going to just log in to the very, very center of the world, and now I'm going to walk east. So you'll see if you look in the lower right hand corner, it's this arrow pointing to the right, and that's east on the map. So if you just use your arrow key, you can start walking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, based on the instructions in the treasure hunt, it says to run, and you hold down the shift key and push the arrow. I'm actually running east. And I know that I have a waypoint at this yellow building right here. And so part of this treasure hunt is to explore voxels. So I'm at this parcel that has nothing to do with my project, but it's really neat. I think this guy does these three-dimensional like odd characters, and there's like a bunch of hyperlinks, and you can go learn all more about that project. And if you just go around voxels, you can see a lot of neat things happening. So if you want to follow along in the treasure hunts, clue 1 and 2s, I am going to expose right now. Clue number 1 was Josie. It was right in here. So if you look at the treasure hunts, I'll scroll down here. And both of the treasure hunts, clue number 1 is the same. So I'm going to scroll up to the top of this treasure hunt. We'll do this one first. Okay, so the clue number 1 was hi, some blank, try again. So it's hi, Josie, try again. So that'll be clue number 1. So you'd write that down on a piece of paper. Then the instructions tell you to now head south. So you see my arrow pointing south. So I'm just going to slowly walk over here. You can run if you push the shift key. And then I'm going to explore this red building right here. Now I can walk through that. Looks like there's like a John McAfee, parody cartoon there. So you can walk in here, and then you could look at some really interesting art. A lot of this artwork in here was done by a artist named A Lot of Money, and unfortunately, he passed away of cancer last year. So a lot of this stuff will be memorialized in, hopefully in perpetuity in voxels. But the next clue that we have is in the Scarlet Factory. You'll see on the right-hand side, I've got a picture of it. And then I ask 3 questions here. Questions are 2, 3, and 4 are based on this NFT right here. So if you come up to this and you click it, it's going to then want you to open up a hyperlink, and we're going to say, go ahead, let's open it up and let's see what this looks like. So this is on a portal called, or an application called Super Rare. And so now we have more of the answers of the treasure hunt. So it says the old structure would be right here, structure. So that would be question number 2, structure. Okay. And then it says who made the winning bid. So this is kind of neat. With an NFT, you can kind of go and look at some of the history of it. So it looks like A Lot of Money accepted an offer for 7 ether from Whale Shark. So it looks like Whale Shark made the winning bid. Okay, so that would be Whale Shark, would be who made the winning bid, Whale Shark. Clue number 4, who is the current owner? Well, that's interesting. So just because this person won, it doesn't mean that it's still owned by that person. So we can hopefully look in here somewhere and it'll say who's the current owner. It looks like the owner is somebody called the Vault. Okay, so the Vault. And like most things in Web3, it's this rabbit hole. So I can now go explore who's the Vault, and then I can now go through this rabbit hole and says, well, what else does the Vault own? Well, probably the Vault is an owner of different digital artwork. And so, yeah, so now I'm looking at the Vault's artwork. But let's continue on with our journey. Okay, so that's clues 3, 2, 3, 4. And then we say, okay, so now we want to do some more of this treasure hunt. We're going to go to a place called City Walk 11. Now, if you've listened to any of these before, you'll know that we need to get to somewhere on this map. I'm going a little bit out of order in our game. So if you go above, it'll talk about all of these little hyperlinks that get you back to a place where you can find the city walk locations. But for now, I'm just going to go right back to the main road we were just on, We started up there at Joy's parcel and found clue number 1. And now we're just going to continue our south journey this way. So you'll see my arrow is now pointed south. And I'm just going to run. I'm going to fast travel to the end of this road right here because I know our game portal is right at the end of this road. So this is the parcel that I'm collaborating on, and we've got our games in here. We've got our quests and our treasure hunts can all be figured out from in here. Okay. So now here's also something that's neat about voxels is if you have different browsers, you can actually have a different character. Like that's Tim Finney. That's actually my character, but just in a different browser right now. So it's just standing right there waving. I'm not actually at that keyboard. But if I jump to another keyboard, I could actually move that character around and you can work in tandem with other people. But we are focused on the treasure hunt right now. And so what I need to do to effectively get to that City Walk 11 location, all of these are hyperlinks to a hub. So you'll see these little circular donut looking things that I'll say W3 on them. So if you click any of those, it's going to hyperlink you to a different part of the map. And it's where I've consolidated the directory. And this directory is all of these City Walk locations because remember, voxels has gotten really large. You can really get lost in this city. So I picked some of the parcels that I collaborate on, and I just called it the City Walk, and I numbered them. So when you find a City Walk parcel, it's built out, either for MetaFest or some other project that I'm working on. And you can look at it as like either like a convention center with like a directory or a shopping mall where you need to find out where all the stores are at. But what's neat is all of these are just hyperlinks. So I know that I said that I needed to go to City Walk 11, and that says like City Walk 11. And so I'm just going to go ahead and find the 11, and I know that that's the Web 3 Skills Job Fair where we were doing our MetaFest event. And so now it's hyperlinked me into an area called the junkyard. So if you walk out on this little platform, some of you will recognize where we're at. There's the metagame original headquarters from last year. This is a gated parcel that I already spoke about on this call. That's it's gated for people that hold our 1155 token. If you hold that token, you'll be able to see what's inside this parcel. And I gave you a little preview of that earlier because I was logged in. Because remember, right now I'm completely anonymous. So anything that requires an NFT or some sort of ERC token attached to it, those are what you use to gate off content within voxels. Okay. So I need to, for this treasure hunt, I need to go one floor below. So I'm just going to kind of hover over here. And then I'm going to go down. I'm going to fly down one level. Remember, you toggle between fly and ground walking around with the F key. F key like turns fly on and off. Okay. So now I'm going to pick up the rest of these clues. Okay. So let's go to the next one. It says question number 5. Okay. It looks like there's a piece of artwork that looks like a piece of artwork in front of me. So if you go forward right here, okay. So it says what girl or blank girl. Well, it's VR girl. So that's clue number 5. So write that down as clue number 5. And then you just continue on. It says look for the position in D21. We got the wall D21 down there, and it says blank Merkel seeds. Okay, blank Merkel seeds is Slya. Slya. That's the clue. So fill that in. Slya is the clue. Okay, so clue number 7. Looks like this is just right behind me. Looks like Alice in Wonderland. This is also by Katie Arrington, really cool artist. Okay, so it asks a question: to something of Alice, 2 sides of Alice. There's your clue. 2 sides is that clue. Okay, so we're massing this thing. Okay, so what do we want to do next? Okay, now we go up to my little NFT collection. This collection of fractals was my entrance into NFTs. I wanted to build some and make some really like buffed out JSON URI records. And so I made a bunch of NFTs, and like OpenSea shows them on their application. There's a lot of things in these NFTs that OpenSea doesn't even know to look for. So I wanted to experiment with some like legal theories within NFTs. So eventually I'll get back to that project. But we've got a clue in here. What are we looking for? Now go to panel D60 and fill in the blank. The something fractal sets. D60, the Mandelbrot fractal sets. The Mandelbrot is your clue. It's the answer to that clue. It's Mandelbrot. Okay. It looks like we've got a fellow traveler here, fellow journeyman. Okay, what are we doing next? Okay, and so now this kind of ends this little like gallery portion, kind of a primer to get into the full player's journey. And so it says the treasure hunt continues at City Walk 1. Okay, well, how do we go find City Walk 1? Well, we've talked about it a couple of times. We got to go find one of those little donuts, those little W3 donuts right here, sprinkled donut. Okay, so here's one. So I'm going to click on that one. And this, once again, this takes me back to the hub. It's relocated me in voxels. It's relatively close to where we were at, but it's a lot easier than trying to run through the world. And now the world's going to regenerate right here. And then we want to get to City Walk 1. So we're going to start right here. We're going to click that little 1 right there. Oops, or click on the actual name. And then now it's transported us to where the player's journey starts within voxels. And this is focused on metagames specifically. Okay. And so let's move through here. Clues along the player's journey. Go to A5 and fill in the blank. Attending weekly cohort call consistently for some amount of weeks. So we go look for A5. A5. It's going to be somewhere on here, I'm sure. Consistently for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So while we're here, though, Curious Octos, Engage Octos in player mode. So this is why you don't simply become a player. You should follow some steps. So we have you read these boards, engage with metagame, and then if you go through Curious Octo, Engage Octo, and then player. Okay. So 3 weeks. You should be present for 3 weeks. Okay. Clue question number 10. Go to A10. So you should probably read these as you're spending the time to go through here, because you'll learn a lot about metagame just by slowing down a little bit and seeing what these billboards show you. There's a lot that happens in metagame. Calendar, weekly calendar, we try to follow that. Looks like this is a vending machine. I probably have this linked up. This one's not linked up, but I think these vending machines are going to use to acquire those 1155 tokens in order to get into the gated spaces. I think that's something we completely do in game. And this is I think that over this next year we should really embrace everybody setting up a ceramic ID or a self ID, because that's what we even use in metagame. We query ceramics graph node, and so we get like player profiles to fill up my meta profiles, and we use that in conjunction to like a private database that we use to keep track of things that self ID doesn't keep track of. Okay, so moving on in this treasure hunt. Oh, lost my way a little bit, but now I have this red carpet here. So the next clue says go to A16. Oh no, we're at A10. I think I skipped A10, so let me run back. What's at A10? A10 is something in here. What was I asking? Register your Web3 identity. So that clue is Web3. Web3 identity. Okay. Next question, 11. Go to A16 and answer this. So A16 answered this. Second word on, and answer what is the word that starts with the letter D at the top of the image? Designers. There it is, your clue. Designers is your clue. Next. Clue question 12. Go to A35. Okay, so these little things right here, these are what hopefully we'll have time for, is to go through the private key assembly, where you assemble a private key, and that's what all these like little colored targets are for. But I'm looking for the treasure hunt, which is A35. Okay, so A35. So we have 4 panels here. This helps people to understand metagame a little bit more. We like to produce content, but what are we looking for the clue? A35. Second word on the image, content. Content is the clue. Second word, content. Okay. Okay, then what's next? A36. First word on the image. Next one, A36. Organizing. So we do like we like to organize. We're organizing here. clue. That's the A36 clue, which is question 13. And we're going to go to A43. Next one looks like the third panel. First word on the image. A43 is assembling. We assembled a puzzle. The game is like a puzzle. Okay, so now we're going to panel 44. First word on the image is uniting. Uniting. That would be the clue there, uniting. We're uniting aligned people. And I believe that to be true. Okay, question 16. Go to A110, and fill in the blank. Source cred blank, Explorer beta. Source cred contributions. Source cred contributions, Explorer beta. That's the clue. Okay. Now where do we go from here? Really like kicking ass on this. Scroll up here. Source cred. A53 and answer this. What is the name of the quest? Okay. So you got to navigate a little bit. A47. The red carpets help you out a little bit. And it says A53 is upstairs. So let's go ahead and wander upstairs right here. A53 right in front of me. Trigger quest. What do we need to do here? Trigger quest. Let's get back on that. Lost my place here. Answer this question. Fill in the blank. Something quest. Trigger quest. That was it. It's just trigger quest. It's easy. Join our Discord. Okay. So the next one is A55. Fill in the blank. Introduce yourself in the internal guild channel. Internal guild channel, according to your role. Okay. There's a couple other things you need to do, like register your Web3 address, which is sort of the cornerstone of everything we're doing here. Eventually, that will become second nature to people. It's just a private key that you can collect for free at any time. It's just you run a mathematical calculation, and then once you're in control of that private key, you can do all Web3 things, including hold value. It's like a wallet, but it's more than that. Okay. A56. Go to A56 answer. How can you get bonus points? Fill in the blank. Bonus points for having your own scheduled and presented. How can you get bonus points for having your own talk? Okay, so we're encouraging people to speak up, speak out. Tell us what you do. So that takes care of that one. 3. This is A57. Oh, nothing on this one, I don't think. A57. Hope I didn't get my numbering wrong. Register your forum. Oh, I got the numbering wrong. Sorry guys. This looks like A57. Let's fix this on the fly right now. Well, I'm anonymous right now. Shit. I'm gonna have to fix that, you guys. Sorry. That's 3. Okay, A58. Let's go to A58, see if it cures. Where's in here? 59, A60. I just got my numbering off. 58. Yeah, A58 should be on this side. All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, when I knocked this carpet through, I moved this image to the right. Okay, so this is A58. 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 Okay. A58, fill in the blank. Register your forum identity. And I'll just show you guys real quick. I want to fix that right now on the fly. So now I do need to log in because now it needs to know that I have access to this parcel. So I'm just going to sign a transaction right here. And that's all it does. Is I'm just like running a little math right here. And so Voxels now knows that I'm credentialed to make changes in this booth. So I'm going to grab this 58. I'm going to move it. So this is a little like builder demo right here. I'm just going to move that. Let's move that right here. Move that 58 here. Let's move this metagame out of the way. And so this is why one of the reasons that I really like voxels now is because like I used to build websites, and to do things that I'm doing right here within a flat website would take us several minutes. And this I was able to do in seconds and then just kind of wander off. Fortunately, my A got kind of stuck in there. The A got stuck in the wall, so I'd have to dismantle the wall a little bit, which I can do, or I can just grab the A from there. I'm going to replicate that A, bring it right over here. This will work. Stick the A right there. And there we go. So A58. So now I've cured that. So A58. Okay, now I am going to, I'll go ahead and log out again. Well, actually, I guess I'll just stay logged in right now. So now you'll see if I push into my first person view now you'll see that once I logged in, now I have my character, it has its wearables on it. And that's another aspect of Web3 that's really interesting because I'm standing in a metaverse parcel that is anchored by an NFT. I owned some of these parcels, and I also have collaboration rights on some of these parcels. That's all done with Web3 technologies. Also, this character right here has these wearables that are also NFTs, and these are three-dimensional NFTs. So they know where to position them on my avatar. So when you start talking about Web3, it's this basically this giant world of assets that provided that you can credential yourself with a private key, you can start to interoperate not only with three-dimensional spaces, content like typical files like PDF files and images, but you can also then, it's like meta in meta. So it's like I'm in this metaverse with a meta character wearing meta wearables on it, and I'm interacting with Web3 within a Web3 space. I know that sounds really weird, but that's really what it comes down to. Okay, so I'm going to go back to first person view, and let's go ahead into the next question. Um, so A59, A59. I think we saw that in here, right? A59 is in here. Bounce around. I'll get to I59. Okay, what's on 9, reward the ability to edit and use metagame something, access to our backend documentation, P plus XP for bonus completion. What is that? Ability to edit and use metagame Notion. Notion. We keep a track of a lot of things in Notion. So Notion is that. Okay. What's next? A60. We got a clue over here too. Clues aplenty. A60. Where do players report when they did a thing? Fill in the blank. Report location. Report in with proper format under shilling branch. Report in. Report in. Did a thing. Did a thing. That's actually a channel within our Discord that has special weight to it because that's where you announce when you're a player, hey, I did this thing. It can't just be anything. It has to be something related to what we're doing in metagame, but that's where you'll do it. And then if people think that it was valuable what you did, they'll give you neat little emojis, and then that starts to get you up on the player board. Okay, let's see if I have something in 62. Yeah, we got another one in 62. Go to A62 and fill in the blank. Something, how people become, uh-oh, what did I do here? Got to fix that. Go to A62 and fill in the blank. Something, how people become champions was it. I need to get rid of that thing at the beginning. So I better edit this right now. Clue question 24. Let's get to see some of the down and dirty of the way that this works. I'm looking for clue 24. Okay, I digress. Okay, so let's get back down to that. I think we're somewhere way down here. Seem right? Treasure Hunt 2. I think we're in Treasure Hunt 1 still. How people become champions. How people become champions. That was that clue. Proofreading is important. I did not do it. Go to A77 and answer this. Okay, it looks like A77, so we're done with this parcel right here. Once again, this is also a gated parcel. I haven't really built anything in here yet, but I was thinking that we could do some neat events over here. Don't know what kind of events quite yet, but this would be a gated parcel that we could do events. So we'll probably drop a 1155 NFT participation token for metagame, and maybe we'll have a special event there and give away some other neat things. Okay, so we're just following the red carpet again, and then we're going to enter into one floor up where we started at. When we came into the player's journey, we were right down at that little stretch of red carpet that I'm looking at. We went around to that building, and then we went underneath this floor here. And we went through that building over there, and then we came up some stairs. We picked up some clues in that building, and we walked right down this carpet. And now we're in the final area to pick up this portion of the clues, or the win treasure hunt number 1. Okay, so we're now looking for a clue at A77. So you can look up at the wall. What are we doing here? A77. So you find A77, and let's see what question is being asked of you here. A77. What is in the white space in the image at location A77? Is it calendar? So our dashboard within metagame, it's neat. It holds content on the left-hand side, like a blog and things we're working on. Calendar, a leaderboard, our token price, the XP, and this was based on me. It was a snapshot in time about where my XP was at based on last week versus this week. And then seed, our native token for metagame. But the clue is calendar. A77. A78, answer. How many payer panels player? That should be player. Okay, fix that. Payer panels. Player panels. Well, how many panels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer is 6. 6 payer panels or player panels. A79, we have there, fill in the blank. Proceed to the dashboard and explore the rest of something V dot what the hell does all that mean? Okay, so I'm going to come up here on this. So this is part of our website. Once you make a profile, you're going to get this page. So you feel that you're really involved in metagame at this point because you have your own profile with your own icon. And this queries off of source cred or ceramic. So all of this information you can enter from our website, and then it goes out to your self ID on ceramic. Or if you already have a ceramic self ID, it queries it and then pulls it forward and populates your My Meta profile. But this is actually your landing page as once you get started. And so the clue is proceed to the dashboard and explore the rest of Meta OS. Meta OS is the clue right there, Meta OS. Okay. Go to A80 and answer this. What was the number for last week? Okay, like I said just a few minutes ago, this was just a snapshot of like my participation. So if I go to A80, answer, what was the number for last week? Last week, the number was 77.96. 77.96. That was my number from last week. And so my participation went up and then it fell. Let's go to the next one, A81. Answer this. What is the player name, who is leader in first place? Luxumbra was the leader at this moment in season 6. I think that's the season we're in, 6. He was winning. And I was number 6 at that time. Okay, so we are rolling. We are almost at the end. So where are we at? Go to A82 and answer this. What is the title of the image at A82? Fill in the blank. Metagame something. A82. Metagame achievements. And I will accept achievements or apostrophe achievements. 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 31. Go to A83. Answer the what is in the blue button at the top of the image. Fill in the blank. Create. Blue button. What does it say? Create event. Event. I really like events in Discord. This is where we set up our meetings. We do our paired programming. Take advantage of it. Keep your eye on the events. You will level up very quickly in metagame if you attend the events. Almost finished. A84, fill in the blank. Something Explorer. What type of Explorer? Quest. Quest Explorer. This is one of our initiatives in metagame. One is achievements, which we're getting finished with, and then quests. And not only do we have this quest, we also have quest chains that Dan and Vid and some others in metagame have been working on. So we're going to really get that quest thing figured out and link that all into our player profiles, my meta, and Web3 accounts. So basically, we're done. Those are all the clues. So it looks like we have one more. Go to A86 and answer this regarding the submission, typo, submission of your answers. Fill in the blank. Click the green button, blank. You enter your final guess, typo, in the form above. Final clue right here. Click the green button after. After is the clue. So don't click that green button until after you enter your final guess in the form above. So here is it. I just gave you all the clues. I'm sure somebody has figured it out by now and entered it in. But if you go to this form and you're just going to open it, you're going to put your Web3 address right there. Why? Because I really, really support Web3, private account or private key user management. So if you put your key there and you've got the right answer, the rewards are going to that account. That's it. Discord name might be good for you to put it there. You might get something extra. This is a required question. We just want to know, are you actually in metagame, not in metagame? Do you identify with one of the guilds? I think that'll help us. This is required too. Okay. So I know I'm in City Walk 1. So if you guys do this right here, just put City Walk 1. Doesn't matter. I don't really care what you put there. It's just a drop down, but just put something in there. If you do want to know what parcel you're in, I think we explained it several times. But if you go outside of any of these parcels right here, if you look around, you'll probably see the word City Walk somewhere. Like I see that one right down there. City Walk 2 is that one. City Walk 1 is the building we're in. So if you really wanted to be complete in the form, you can go ahead and say what parcel you're in, because the same form is located throughout the game. So I don't need to go to the link again. So entering your form, we are almost done in this section. So we've got the treasure hunt. So then down here, you're just going to separate your clues. So it's like everything is one word, clue 1, clue 2, and just enter it just like that. And if you get those clues that I just gave you and you push submit, you can even do like a screenshot or send us a neat little photo. We'll probably post it up somewhere in here if you win. And you push submit, and now that goes into the database, and that database records everything in order. So we're giving away prizes for first, second, and 3 third places. And then after that, it'll be 1155 NFT that'll be used for one of the gated parcel events. Okay. So let's see how we're doing on time. So we got 20 minutes left. So this, I'm going to do the next treasure hunt much quicker. But if we enter that in there and I push this button, it is now going to take us back to the main gaming center that we started out at. And then let's go and look what we need to do for the next treasure hunt. Treasure hunt 2, clues for treasure hunt 2. Okay, well, I already gave you Joy's parcel and the red parcel, so we don't even need to do that again. Because questions 1 through 4 were identical. So it was Josie, and then there was a painting. There was 3 questions there, and then it tells you to go to a new City Walk location, City Walk 42. So just my reference point, I kind of come back to this gaming center that we have, that we will reuse this area for future events, be it MetaFest or some other event. But the way that I'm going to go center myself up to go find the City Walk is go to the hub. So once again, you click those little donuts, and then it's going to take me to the Web3 Skills Hub right here. Keep in mind if you're working on a computer that's a little bit slower, or you move around a lot in voxels, it needs time to regenerate where it's located, and sometimes it gets confused if you've gone to too many locations. So you can always hit the F5 key. And what it does is it just reloads voxels in the place that you're standing. So I'm going to hit the F5 because I just want to get this like the hub regenerated as quick as possible. And you'll see it's going to start to find all the assets. And remember, all these are hyperlinks. And I was looking for number 42. I thought it said 42. Yeah, the metagame role selector. Okay. So let's go to the metagame role selector. And now what this done is this has like moved me to the complete west side of the map. So that's what's nice about these hyperlinks. Uh, so I'm going to pan out a little bit to show you where we were. Remember, we started right in the middle here, and we ran up here for 10 blocks, and then we ran south. And this is that area that we were just in. These like 4 little buildings. The player's journey was all the player's journey was over here. We were like ran over in this area. That was the player's journey right there. So what's neat in voxels is once you get like collaborative rights to different parcels that are linked, you can really start to sort of do these walkthrough events. And that's what I'm going to show you at the very end of this if we have time. I want to show you the catwalk that I did for Digital X, because they're really good at like making these digital fashions. And I don't think they showcase them. Maybe they do it in Decentraland, but I just wanted there to be a presence in voxels because I think that project is really neat. Okay, so this is our roles booth. So let's see what we're asking for in here. It says go to City Walk 42 from the Web3 Skills Hub, or by starting from the Metagame Roles quest, find the calendar on the southern wall. Okay, south is basically a down arrow on a map. So north is up, south is down. So they're telling me to come right here. And there's a clue in here. It says, according to the calendar, what day are the community calls? Fill in the blank. The champions calls are scheduled on. I changed that here. Okay. I do have to change that right now. The reason I did this, I exposed, I think, a clue, and then I was going to change the question. So I think we're down in here. Thank you for that. Okay, so I think I said champions calls, and I think the answer to that is now Monday. That will be the clue. See, make sure I am back where we were. Treasure Hunt 2. Find the calendar. According to the calendar, the champions calls are scheduled on Monday. Champions calls are on Mondays. Okay. Continue. Select one of the guild icons and you will be teleported to the next clue parcel at City Walk 43. So you can either go to City Walk 43 by going to the hub, or I say you can just click any of these things. It's going to take us to that parcel. Okay. So now we're in a new parcel. We're somewhere in the north of voxels. I've departed from the junkyard. I've departed from the west side, and now I'm in this one location that I have access to that we wanted to use. So these clues over here, that is for the building of the private key. So we're not using those right now. There's other clues for us to do for this, and they are printed in here. So pick up 2 clues in the fountain. So you got to jump into this fountain first. Okay. Jump in. How do you jump in the fountain? Just like walk over it and jump in. Okay. So somewhere in here, clue 6, Octo. Octo is that clue. You kind of like jump underwater over here. Clue 7, Nova. Octo and Nova. Those are 2 clues within metagame that we use from time to time. Octo and Nova. 6 and 7. Okay. Now let's see. I might actually have you guys actually go watch these videos because you answer these. I'll try to remember what the answers were. The first video, what is the type of food truck is running along the track? Something is on top of the truck, is running on the tracks. It's not perfect English, but I'll tell you what it is. It's a taco truck. You'll see it if you watch that video. It's a taco truck. And then in here, what did I ask about this one? The very last word in the video, fill in the blank. The end, maybe? You have to watch it all the way to the end, see what it was. See if I can fast forward it through it. I don't think I can from in here. So play it, or you can go to YouTube, just go to the very end if you want, or you watch the video, but there's a word at the very end. It's like, it's not thank you, but come again or something. I don't know. Okay, and then this one is a very, very cool video that Jen and his crew in Voxels put together. It's really fun to watch. So watch it. It says fill in the something, I think it was 3, Ron Road. If you watch the video, it says that's where the phenomenon started. Ron Road. But I really recommend watching this. It's really entertaining. Find the self-ID profile on the west wall. Okay, well, what's west again? West is pointing to the left. So it looks like this is the west wall. So I'm going to run over here. And then this is my profile. This is the Tin Finney profile. Treasure Hunt 2, question 11. Fill in the blank, Tin Finney something. Tin Finney Scott. That's my real first name, Scott. So that's the clue right there, Tin Finney Scott. So on the left-hand side, this is also a little training right here. On the left-hand side, this is our self-ID profile. This isn't in metagame. This is stored somewhere else, and this is their user interface. But we query that information that fills up the profile page that you saw on the player's journey that we just finished in Treasure Hunt number 1. Okay, so we collected all our clues that we need in here. So now we need to go to City Walk 27. Okay, so once again, how do we get back to a City Walk location? Well, we got to go find one of these little things, click it. Once you've clicked it, back to the hub. And we want City Walk 27. And this will be new to anybody that seen some of my videos. Well, it looks like we got some stuff at the NFT presentation stage. Let's go here. What are we looking for in here? Can't really remember. The City Walk 27 from the Web3 Skills Hub, or by starting from main game center, traveling east from the Whale Shark Gallery. City Walk 27. So we're in the right place. Look for 2 pieces of art. All right, so let's go ahead and wander in this parcel right here. Okay, that looks like it right there. Going by a lot of money. RIP. Whose world? Ben's world? Ben's world. World is the clue. Ben's world. So world is the clue. Okay. Question number 13. Find the art of a flying car. Fill in the blank. Brahim? Gotham. Gotham is the clue. A very, very cool 3-dimensional little flying car. Kick-ass piece of art that a lot of money did. End of Treasure Hunt 2 for non-holders of the access token. Clues number 34. What I'm saying here, if you do not have the event access token, these are all the clues you will find. Put your answers in the form. City Walk 24, the main game center. Clues in City Walk 34. If you do have an event access token, this will take you on an additional journey, but I don't think we have time really to do that in this 1 hour. So you can go through that. If you actually have the token and you go in there, I'll give everybody an extra like $5 for that one, for the top 10 people that ever do it. So if you're listening to this and you have the token, which means that you had that 1155 airdrop to you that was part of you being involved in metagame at some point, we had your Web3 address, so we were able to drop you a token. So then you'll be able to go in and you'll do these like last little clues in that gated token. You'll find a clue in that little box right there. Then you're going to run behind the microphone, and then there's a key, and you'll click the key, and then it'll take you through like a little chamber, and eventually you get spit out at this vending machine. And none of this you'll be able to see. That's why I'm really not going to talk about it if you don't have that token. But maybe next time around that we're all together, I'll take you through that little section too, because it's gamified and it's kind of fun. So finishing the hunt. Now you should have all your words. And I think that if you had the token, you would have 16 of them. If you didn't have the token, you would just have 12 of them, and either of those will be fine. Just fill out the form back in the game center. And that's it for the treasure hunt. Let's get you back to the game center so you know where to fill it out at. So once you've collected the clues, remember, it's always important to go find one of these sprinkled donuts. And then if you click that, I don't think I really mentioned the main gaming center for all of our games is a main game center, this one right here. Also City Walk 24. So if you just click that, and now it gets you back to the game center. The previous treasure hunt, I gave you a form right there at the end of that player's tour, but here the form is just located right here at the entrance. That same form is right here. So if you just click it, you open up that form, and then it's the same one we had right here. So you're just going to put your Web3 address, answer the required questions, guild, parcel that you're in, and then your questions or your answers separated by commas. Okay, so what else do I want to do in the last few minutes? I think that this is like I said, Polymill cracked this pretty quick. It was fun to build. It took me a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I think that we can reuse it. It's like assembling private keys is pretty fun. And then once you have it, you can just dip into the address. If you're the person that does it, you can just clear the account, take the rewards out of it. And then basically that's a burnt private key and it should never be used again. But who knows? Maybe, maybe we will use it again, as long as, somebody doesn't put a bot on it and just immediately clear it out every time something hits it. So let's go through this for the last few minutes to show everybody how this worked. Okay. So what I did is I started by loading up some Web3 accounts with some value. I put Polygon Matic tokens in there. So I listed up all of these public keys. Okay. These public keys are also represented in this image right here. Oh gosh, on the roof right here. So I got to fly down here. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot right now. I know it's hard to watch when somebody's moving around so fast, but okay, I wanted to get right here. So each of these public keys right here, at least the top 8 of them, you would assemble a private key, and a private key is 64 characters long. It's hexadecimal characters. And I gave you the first clue as a freebie. And the way to get actually the assemble the private key is you would have to take these numbers. This says like H24 for game number 3. So you'd come over to the decoder and you would find your I think I said 23, even if H23. So the first 4 characters of that private key is B9C1. So you would want to write that down. That for sure is the first 4 characters of the private key for game number H24, game 3, H24. Yeah, H24, B9C1. So you would just go through and now you would have to find all of the clues and assemble the private key. I had held this one back. I had held the final clue back until the 22nd, but based on the order that I put all of these clues in, Polymill was able to crack it because of the way that I put them in order. I think he was able to do a process of elimination and come up with the final clue, which was pretty ingenious of him to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. So if you guys want to see more, if you want to like access these rules and do it again, play it again, you just click this little link down here, and this hyperlinks you over to this document I have on the right-hand side. Okay. So what we're going to do is let's at least do one of the lanes all the way through. And why don't we go ahead and pick this? I'm going to do the player's journey because there was a little bit of confusion on this one. So I'm going to click here to start, and I just get to pick what lane I want. This isn't really, it's every lane is a different game. It's a different private key. You're not racing against anybody else. So why don't we pick the purple one? Okay, so I'm just going to try to follow the purple lane all the way through this. And remember, I already have clue number 1. Clue number 1 on purple is C42. So I can look anywhere that has that purple thing. It's going to say clue number 1, C42. So I'm just going to click these vertical bouncing bars. So now it's just going to transport me into this little chamber, knowing that if I click this bar, it's going to hyperlink me somewhere else. So I need to collect my clue first. So clue number 1, which we already talked about because I exposed already, is C42. So now if you went over here, C42, CFC4 or 3FC4, that's the first digits of that private key to assemble it. So now I want to get out of here. I want to go get that next clue. That clue. So now I'm going to click this bar. It's going to take me somewhere else where another clue is. And now here's where you just got to stand still for a second, because if I could move my avatar around, but if I do, I'm going to get out of alignment of my lane. So I just need things to generate. So I'll back up a little bit, and so now it's like generating this hub right here. So if you wait a few seconds, and now the purple bar shows up. So now I want to continue in that lane. Okay, purple lane. Okay, so I'm in the purple lane, and so now I have clue number 2, C27. So C27 for the purple lane, C27, C27. So you could circle that like a bingo card or whatever, but that would be the next 4 digits, C27, 38, C9. Okay, so now we're rolling. Okay, so now I'm not going to click this because it's not a bouncing bar. And you'll see actually I'm in line with a bunch of other people. So eventually we could actually do this game as a race. It won't even be collecting private keys. It might be collecting other type of clues, and you'll have to be good at navigating through voxels. Okay, so I'm just going to click that one, and now it puts me into this purple lane. Clue number 3, J25. So again, J25, go over here, J25, cross-reference it, write down those 4 digits. Those are the next ones. So now you have 3 clues. They're 4 digits each. So now you have 12 of the 64. Okay, so but we want to continue on. So I'm just going to hit that button again, and now it's going to transport me somewhere else. Okay, so now I'm in this lane, and clue number 4 just showed up, C29. Back to the player card, C29, write those down. Okay, now I get out of here by using the bouncing bar. Okay. And this is where people got a little bit confused. I think Bogey and a couple people were in here. They thought that they were supposed to collect these clues. But remember, everybody is on like their own journey. And this clue has nothing to do with anybody outside the blue lane or the, I think this was like the green lane or something like that. I probably should have put a little color bar up there. But you already have your 4 clues in the purple lane. So clue number 4, you don't need this clue. This is somebody else's clue 4. Okay. So now let's go find clue 5 for, remember, we're purple lane. So I need to go like somehow hunt for clue 5. And just as a shortcut, it's just across. If you follow the red road, you're going to find clue number 5 over here. Yeah, I'm 2 minutes out, but I think you guys get it now. If we're ready to go into closing ceremonies, and unless Penguin, you want me to finish it up, it's going to be your call on me. Clue number 5. Clue number 5, J15. Go use card, J15. Go ahead, Penguin.
Yeah, we're gathering the crew for the closing ceremony, so
Okay.
feel free to keep going. We'll pop on soon.
Okay. So that was clue number 5. So now we are just follow the red carpet, and we're going to look for this clue number 6. So now we're going to let this, clue number 7, that means I missed one. Okay, so let's go back. Let's head back, look for clue number 6. Oh yeah, I put them on the other side of this wall. Okay. So remember, we're just looking for the purple clue number 6. You could go back and do all of these just following the different colors. So B47. Okay, B47 is clue number 6. So 6 times the 4 digits, 24. So we're getting there. We're at least a third of the way to have our private key assembled. So that was clue number 6. So clue number 7, taking a little shortcut here. Clue number 7. Clue 7. So let's wait for it to generate up on the wall. Here they come. F32. F32 is clue number 7 for the purple lane. Knowing that I tried to connect this to the player's journey, I'm going to come up these stairs again, and I'm just going to go right down this red thing. And now we need clue number 8. Clue number 8, purple, D13. D13. Clue number 8 for the purple lane. The purple game. Whoa. Sometimes you'll fall through the floors. So get used to pushing the F key. Sometimes these little bridges I made, if it doesn't have time to generate them, you'll fall through them. So once they're generated, it should stay stable for me. I think that was 8 we were on. So 10 of the clues are collected this way, and then the next clues come really easy. So I think we will have time to at least finish this lane up. So we are looking for clue number 9. So all this area should look familiar to you. This was also part of the player's journey where we were collecting clues off the walls, but we're not doing that now. We're just assembling a private key. So here we go. Want to make sure we're on the right clue. Clue 9, purple. Clue 9, purple. B39. B39. Get that written down, or just go cross-referencing it and get your private key. Okay. Now let's go to clue 10. 24. 24. Okay, so now you just successfully collected all the clues from wandering around in the world in that first game quest. So I know if I just click this button, it'll take me back to the game room, because now I'm going to show you where you collect clues 11 through 16. So now this is transporting me back to City Walk 24 that I've mentioned. You can do that by either going to the hub and then pushing the hyperlink for City Walk 24, or you can push that little green button, which I know takes you over here. So now where do we get the rest of these clues? Well, if you're paying attention to either the instructions that I had in here and reading through them, you'll realize what I'm trying to get you to do is click that little down arrow that's going to show up right here. There's a down arrow there, here, and here. And people say, down arrows, where does that take you? Well, we're going to find out. Okay. So you click that, and all of a sudden we're underwater. And where are we underwater? We're directly under the parcel that we were just standing in. So what I've done here is I have put clues 11 through 15 directly underneath us. So if you look up here, remember, you need to have the F key. If you push F, you'll be able to fly, which also means swim. So you reposition yourself. And here is, if you know the game you were playing, lane either purple lane is assigned to a color, blue lane is assigned to a color. I think blue is lane number 1. You'll find that all through reading through the documentation or looking at um, the clues. So I think from what I remember, purple was 3. I might be wrong though, but if 3 is, now you've got clues 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So now you just cross-reference those 5. We gave you 5 clues all in a row. Okay. Now, if you need to get out of here, so you kind of look for an opening here and make sure you have your F key, and you kind of like smash up through the water. And now you're back on land. And I don't think they've really programmed it in, so you got to kind of like struggle through a little bit to get all the way through the floor. But once you're back on land, you're not going to fall through again. So once again, to get clues 11 through 16 in any of these lanes. Now remember, it's not game 3. It's not game 3 for purple. It's just the purple lane. So you don't want to you just need to know that like game 3 is purple for a specific game. That's not too confusing. Okay, so now we need the last clue, okay, which is in 1, it's basic, our stage. And are you ready to go, Penguin? So I'll just
I think the last clue might elude people. I'll have to figure it out.
Well, the last clue is over at our main stage. So I'm just going to fly over. If you're getting familiar with our areas, like this is called the junkyard, and we spend a lot of time over here at the junkyard. Okay, there's our parcel right there. Okay, and this was our job fair. So if anybody was participating in MetaFest up to this point, this area should start to look pretty familiar to you. If you'll find the giant MetaFest banner above the main stage, this will just take a second to generate here. I think I'm going to F5 this one. There's a lot of assets in this parcel. But I think for metagame and other projects that are going to start to embrace metaverse live events, this area can really be customized for whatever we want to be presenting. So I think I'm going to continue to work on this and really make it a really neat sort of a community event stage that, based on whatever the event is, I'll just take the assets, I'll put a big logo up here, I'll put some assets down in here. Like we got 2 we were running like DJ rap battles in here, and I was doing an Ethereum demo in there. So you can do a lot in these parcels for multimedia. So the final clues are right here, okay? Yeah, and I think what I should do right here. So here's the final clues 1 through. I think ultimately there were 10 private keys. So I think that I just have to get that final colored bar right here. So it'll be like red, blue, green, and that way you'll be able to pick up your final clue for that private key. And you'll just cross-reference that. I-46 will be the final one. I-46 down here, DF2F, and that will be the one that will assemble this private key. So I think while we're gearing up, everybody, I'm going to jump in here and put those on. And thank you for participating in MetaFest2. This was the first time that I've tried doing something like this, so I know that there's there's some issues with it, but I think it's something that we can iterate on, and I think it's engaging enough that you can use it for like an onboarding exercise, be it metagame or anything else, because it forces people to like look at a billboard and decipher a question. You don't have to have any knowledge outside of that. So that's that. So I'm going to go ahead and post up some colors right below these clues, and then you guys should be able to finish it up. Do you want me to keep broadcasting while I do that, or?
No.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you so much for the amazing trip through CryptoVoxels.
All right. Thank you very much.
Through all of the treasure hunt. It's incredible how deep it went, especially going through the questions today. I really got a glimpse of how far some of these quests went. So it's super amazing. Thank you.
Sure, Penguin. Thanks. I was happy to do it. Okay, we'll see you at the closing ceremony.
Yeah, Pete is going to be
pretty deep
and hosting for the closing ceremony. So Pete, hey, how's it going?
Thank you, Penguin. Thank you for hosting this far. There we go. How has it been? Two weeks of hosting, or did you disappear already?
No, I'm here.
No wonder.
I just accidentally clicked the mute button. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking to all the amazing people, finding out what they've been up to the past year, catching up. A lot of amazing talks, a lot of amazing people doing great stuff. It's really hard to keep up with everyone. So, times like MetaFest are really important to kind of decompress. And, it might have been a really intense 2 weeks, but it was a lot of information that we shared, and we wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. So a lot of fun.
There was definitely a lot of things, but I wouldn't call it a decompression. It's a compression of knowledge, and there was compression in the production. But you've seen it through till the end. You've been hosting for days, and thank you for that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Great.
Yeah, thank you all the people who came on and talked with us too.
And this is like our third one together from Intercon, MetaFest1, MetaFest2. Were you also hosting on the hackathon for the world?
I did a little bit of moderation on For the World, but I did non-con. I did a few of the ETH Global ones, so with the Ethereum Summit. So yeah, I love the conferences. They're a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's there's been so many things over the past few weeks. I think I've gotten up to something like 130 different sessions, and we said we will make it smaller this year. It was about 30% bigger. I mean, shorter in time, but a lot more sessions.
Yeah, even the weekends were packed this time.
And there were less sessions with playing games.
The really cool thing is the images. Did you have a chance to see some of the graphics that were made from the speakers? Yeah, it really kind of nails home just how many awesome people came and talked to us. So we had the socials with everyone's picture that came and spoke to us with their title, and made some graphics on that were posted.
Yeah, I only wish we managed to do that earlier, but not even the guests were booked until the the last minute. It would have been good to like announce the talks a week or two in advance. Not in metagame,
Yeah,
but we pulled it through.
yeah. I mean, things are always a little bit hectic, but basically, we've got great people in our community that are committed, and when they say they're going to do something, they follow through. And we've got the best builders and kind of minds in our space. So very thankful for everyone. And yeah, we definitely did a great job picking our speakers. I think that was another thing, is that if they were speakers that we weren't very well aligned with, or we didn't know a lot about, then the chances of them showing up would have been much less likely. But because of the strong connections that we built together over the years, everyone was really solid. So I know it was a tight schedule for everyone involved, but we all pulled it off.
Yeah, the vast majority of the people I booked are people I personally know, and I know it's been similar for you as well. A lot of great projects. What was your favorite?
So I think one of my favorites was kind of unexpected. It was Spencer Graham's hats. I really liked that one, especially when we considered the hats from Team Fortress. Uh, I don't know. I think that was kind of, we followed into the hat protocol too, but Spencer talked on it first, and then when hat protocol came, we kind of continued the conversation. And yeah, so and then when the hat protocol came and we saw like the Team Fortress one, it helped me really connect everything else. And but Spencer really laid out a lot of the actual kind of hats and like the concept of it. So I think they were, the best part for me was like the synergy. We had a lot of talks, and that wasn't just like one really good talk. It was like three really good talks back to back that really went well together. So I think, yeah, that was part of the complimentary days. So I think that was part of my favorite part.
I think we managed to do a lot of that, but that's actually one of the points I'd like to improve next year, because this year we had some like some talks would flow, like the team would be consistent, and then some would have like a random session that just didn't we couldn't fit anywhere else, and it just had to be there. But yeah,
Yeah, I think
we covered a lot of great topics and the
last
most
year
important themes.
we did a better job at like separating things into like defined topics, and we covered like more varied topics. This year, I'm happy that we focus more on DAO tools and really like DeFi and, or not DeFi, but like refi and things that kind of matter to us and our values, rather than NFTs. We didn't have as many NFT projects and stuff. We had a little bit of metaverse stuff at the start, but even that was still like surrounded like about services and organizations that are kind of contributing.
Yeah, I think it was great actually. Like, yeah, last year we tried to, and last and the first year as well. I think we not MetaFest but Intercon. We spent like, okay, we have to cover all the main parts. Like, has to be DeFi, has to be NFTs, has to be DAOs. And this we just said like, no, we're covering what we care about, and this fuck everything else. We're gonna have tooling, we're gonna have DAOs, we're gonna have a refi, and this time is a good addition. But that was pretty much it. There was a few NFT projects, but they were all of them were refi, and they were mixed in between everything else.
Yeah, I think that DeSci stuff was really cool too. I having a deep science background myself, it's nice to see that the space is finally embracing crypto and doing cool stuff with it.
Yeah. I've noticed that Mizan has joined us, and we should invite other people as well. I don't know who else is coming. Let's repost the link.
Hey, Miss Sam.
Senor Mizan.
I joined like 20 minutes ago.
But we just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What was your favorite talk?
I don't know. I can't pick a favorite, but I'd say like the DAO days were my best days. The tooling days. And as Penguin already said, so now I cannot use that, but the hats were actually really cool. I dug them out today when I was composing my Gitcoin card. So yeah, it's pretty much what we really need. It's what I think would be a really awesome use case of NFTs, right? So you get your role and you get to role play, right? That doesn't mean that that NFT describes you in any way, right? Or that you equal that NFT. It just means that while you are holding it, you are able to assume that role, right, within a space, which is, I think, what we need. It's a lot of times, as we are decentralized, we don't take up initiatives, right? We try to like everybody pitch into everything, but I think it's still important to like retain these like structures, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be maybe a vertical hierarchy, right? But a hierarchy needs to exist, right? So if we are able to role play these roles when we are doing something, right, I think it makes it a lot easier to move forward and not like hold any ill intentions, right? Because things move fast, right? Things can change, and now we are playing this way, the next time you're playing that way, right? And shit gets done in the end. Brings more order, I think, in a like soft manner, not that like corporate feeling of being clawed upon, if it makes sense.
Yeah, there's less of the anybody story where you have a clearly defined role each and everything like that. And it was a huge improvement when they added like the champions in metagame as well. Like at the beginning was just like you said, anybody, anything, and now still like people pitch into other things, but there's like who's in charge of who's who's supposed to be pushing what forward.
I think the cool thing about hats too is that even with the protocol, they're not permanent, right? And a champion too can change over time. It's not like the CEO of a company where you've got to bring the board together and vote someone off. A champion. Champions like all about kind of finding the next group of people to kind of hold and build up the people for the responsibility rather than them having to do everything. The key thing about a leader is by empowering other people to do things rather than you being the person that does everything.
Right. How do they pass them on? Is it like the DAO also can like take your NFT and pass it on to somebody else, or do they just mint new ones and deactivate the old ones?
Yeah, so their exact process is they had an oracle that would be establishing if the hat was being fulfilled, and then they had ways that they could remove hats. So if the hat was not being fulfilled or if it wasn't needed anymore, the hat could be taken away or dissolved.
Cool. What else? Yeah, for me, it was the liminal village and the regenerativa, their plans. I mean, the whole presentation where they they didn't just talk about their project, but like really the bigger picture, and then zooming out into what they're doing and their plans for building this. Well, I mean, they already have the liminal village, but it's just a small place, and then they're building like an actual village, and they're going to be 3D printing houses, and they're also connecting with other villages and building this regenerative village network. It was pretty awesome. It was like an hour long in total, 4 of them presenting like the whole story for.
Yeah, Jillian, Roberto, Robert, and Laura, if I remember right.
Damn,
And,
great memory.
I love their organic houses that they were building too. They're talking all about open source farm equipment, so that as like they would build this stuff instead of having planned obsolescence where things would fail and you've got to go buy a new one, by using shared knowledge and open source even farm equipment. If something breaks, you just make a new one. Yeah, they were really great.
Yeah, the first they built the farm bot. Now they want to build those 3D printer. You build a printer. You don't have just one house. You can print as many houses as you want. And the clay from which they're made is like everywhere over there. It's pretty amazing. Beg more people to join. When people join, I think I should post it outside of this channel as well.
Yeah, so big thanks to everyone that helped make the stream possible, from our video stream team, Bogey 150, Iron Mower, to all of our hosts, Unipuff, Peace, myself, Penguin. Did anyone else host one of these days that we were out?
I don't think so. Are we forgetting anybody?
Yeah, that was definitely awesome amount of facilitation that we did. Thank you to everyone in the backstage too that helped get everyone organized. Unipuff, Anna, Miss Anthony were back there too. Lux and Bro was back there helping people. We had Umberto, H. Bezos. Yeah, Pete, you were helping out in the backstage. So everyone that helped get the speakers in place, get them ready for their talks. Big ups to the MetaFam. Thank you, Tommy, for helping schedule people. Pete too, and myself helped organize most of the guests.
Bogey.
Bogey had a few guests too that he helped bring. Life Live Dow for hosting Father's Day, and they made amazing DJs there.
William making the Twitter banners and Anna tweeting them, and I was tweeting them as well.
Yeah,
the
big
Scone tweeted them the first day. That's at least like 10 different people pitching in.
Yep, every single day. Big thank you to Tenpenny too for putting together the treasure hunt and filling in when we needed to. Bogey for creating the standby messages in our promo. Super awesome work there.
Fearless booked a bunch of people as well. And I hope he's okay. We haven't seen him since he put the message.
So if you enjoyed anything that you saw here, you resonated with what we saw, please feel free to select us for your Gitcoin donations. Today is the last day. I think our fund is not doing so great on Gitcoin. But
it's worse than the last time when we actually did less promotion or no promotion.
That's true. But yeah, I'm getting my cart and I'm submitting all my payments today. So I
I
definitely
have the
recommend
alarm set, so I
everyone.
don't miss the end of the round. See, Lawnmower joined us as well. Bacon, welcome. What was your favorite session or moment or least favorite? Hello, hello.
Hello,
Is
hello.
anybody out there?
I think this is probably a good time to wrap it up. I think we
I
should.
see these two join, but I'm not sure they're. I see what was there too. I'm not really here. And let me check. There was some things to cover. You already mentioned the Gitcoin grant. Yes, please donate to the Gitcoin grant. I'll put the link in. That again, and I will. Yeah, you feel free to go if you have to go on. I will stay for a few more minutes. I think I need to get through a few more things. Maybe still need to push this. Maybe
Awesome.
more people joined as well.
Thank you so much, Pete. I'm excited for the future, and tell people about what's coming up next. Remember, if
Yeah.
you want to be part of Metagame or help out, learn more about how to connect, metagame.wtf, or feel free to hop in our Discord. Check us out there.
Thank you, Penguin.